about this, because I think as human beings we also need social interaction and the ability to have discourse and to speak and to be human. That's really important. Joining us now is Gorilla Tech CEO Paul Spain. G'day, Paul.
Hey, Duncan.
Yeah, really good. Hey, Fourth Industrial Revolution, let's just narrow it down into one of the many things it could be. The ability to still be a human being. You know, I know there's all this talk about being replaced. I think that's overhyped. Your views?
Well, look, there are aspects of what we do that it makes sense to replace somewhat. Now, if we look back over the past couple of 100 years, we keep seeing things that make life easier, let us do, I guess, less of those menial tasks. We look to our farms where everything was once all done by hand, and, some generations ago we had combine harvesters and those sorts of things. Of course, that's going to keep getting automated, and really, technology is going to take that down to a much further track, automated cars and so on. But this human thing that we have, you can't replace it.
And that's what I want to focus on too, is and also 3D printing of houses. I want to get to that too. But when it comes to social interaction, I think it's going to be a real commodity. It is now, but in the future, when we're surrounded by all these digital answers, the ability to sit down with someone, have charisma and talk and make someone laugh, I think it's crucial still. And we might be losing it.
Yeah, I mean, there are aspects of that where, look at Air New Zealand have got this bot, and this is one of these things that sort of comes under this, fourth industrial revolution, where you can go online and you can try and chat with it to get answers. And it can be helpful in some cases, and yes, you don't have to sit on hold and so on, but
no, that's
actually, we'd like to interact with people, and that's why we still have travel agents, right? A lot of us will do our key or simple travel bookings online, but when you want to, plan something a bit further, you're talking to friends and other people, maybe to a travel agent, because you want that human element.
That's our era, because we had half our life without social media, without iPhones or anything like that. So we know how to interact. But I read a survey where younger people, the new generation, they actually prefer an online relationship. They don't like interacting with people. And that's my fear about this, is because they're not learning to interact. We had that because we needed to. It was part of life, but they don't. So how do we get around that? How do we teach our younger ones?
Parents' job.
How to interact.
As Duncan said, I think that's a parenting thing. Certainly, traits with my youngster. He's 8 now, but there were things coming through that I was, I'm not sure this is quite right. And so yesterday I was talking to him, and he said, "Dad, you're talking to the wall. You're not looking at me." Because I taught him that.
It's funny you should say that, because I have a policy in our house that anytime there needs to be some communication from my 12-year-old, I'll text Nana, or I said, "No, you won't. You'll pick the phone up and you will call her," and I make sure that they do. Otherwise, they are not learning those social interactions.
So what are the jobs then? If we think about jobs, I mean, for instance, even the cameras in this studio today are manned by people. Yes, they are humans. They are humans,
and it shows, because you have a more creative view than of an automated studio.
And every now and then they show personality, compared to if it was on. But we were told 20 years ago that these things would be moving with as just by remote. Maybe MediaWorks just hasn't invested properly, but do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it hasn't happened as fast as it all was predicted.
Yeah, and sometimes we learn what's possible and we think we'll be there in a flash, but it actually takes a long time. And that's the same with the autonomous vehicles, right? So I think there's been a lot of talk and concern, and various countries around how many people have employment that involves driving, whether it's trucks or couriers, deliveries, taxis, and so on. But actually to get to a point where we don't need those people doing those jobs is quite some time off, because there are all sorts of elements of that. Even if you lighten the load of the driving, then you're still going to need somebody to run upstairs and get things signed off for a little while to come on.
When I got a flat tire on Friday night, was there a computer was there a robot that did it for me?
Not yet.
So it's 2019. We haven't even got a robot that can change a tire. Well, we probably have,
but we do need to embrace this new technology. And as Kiwis, we can't sort of sit back and think she'll be right. We do need to be moving forward. Whether that's those of us that have been in employment for a long time, we need to be continuing our education digitally. For youngsters, we need to look at how we help them embrace these technologies, science, technology, and so on, appropriately.
Stay relevant.
Absolutely.
That's us. Hey, good to see you, Paul. Always appreciate your time.